Hi, and welcome back to this second hour of Focal Point on AFR Talk. Brian Fisher is my name. Focal Point is the home of muscular Christianity on conservative talk radio. I want to give you a heads up about the next edition of 8 Days of Hope. This will be coming up July 12 through 19 of 2014. We need help. We need volunteers to help families who have been devastated by the recent tornadoes here in the South. You can be a part of rebuilding homes in Jesus' name. Some folks from AFA went down on Saturday to help two families that had the roofs ripped clean off of their houses, windows blown out, and they went down there to help get a roof back on their homes. One family had young children, basically a single dad. The wife is gone. The mom left. He's responsible for the two young children, and they spent the better part of 2 days putting a roof on their homes, putting new windows and doors in there like that. And this is what 8 Days of Hope does. And we've got a new project coming up in July. And this, again, goes back to what happened on April 28th. You had tornadoes that came through here, Tupelo, Mississippi, where our headquarters are located. Over 3,000 homes suffered damage within 60 miles of Tupelo, 30 of them, or 700 rather, in Tupelo alone. 700 homes in Tupelo were damaged by these tornadoes. And I've had an opportunity, Debbie and I, to drive around parts of town where tornado hit, where they made land, and see the damage and the destruction. And it is incredible. You really have no idea. I mean, it doesn't even register how powerful wind can be, how much damage wind can do when you see, until you see the top halves of brick churches just ripped clean off, gone. Top floor of hotels shattered. Restaurants crumpled basically on top of themselves. Convenience stores just ripped to shreds. Huge trees just uprooted and left laying by the side of the road. So a lot of damage, a lot of need for help here. 8 Days of Hope is going to launch a major rebuilding effort July 12 through 19 to help. We need carpenters, plumbers, electricians, drywall finishers, painters, and a big need especially for those that are skilled with roofing, because that's where a lot of the damage was done. So go to 8daysofhope.com. That's the number 8, 8daysofhope.com, and you can volunteer for this project. Now, as I mentioned, Mississippi is not the only race where there is considerable controversy. One of those is out in Oregon, and Oregon's having its primary today. And by the way, if you are in the states of Arkansas, Georgia, Idaho, Kentucky, Pennsylvania, or Oregon, today is a primary day. Go out and vote. Make sure you do it. Be a solid citizen. Go to the polls and vote. If you're not sure who to vote for in these congressional elections, you can get some help by going to afaaction.net, afaaction.net. You put in your address and your zip code, and every race, every congressional race in which you are eligible to vote will pop up. It'll pop right up on your screen. You will get an assessment of each one of those candidates. You can drill down to find out how that assessment was reached. We're not telling you who to vote for. We're just giving you information. This simply becomes one tool among others that you can use to decide who to vote for. So again, if you live in Arkansas, Georgia, Idaho, Kentucky, Oregon, or Pennsylvania, go vote. And if you need information, go to afaaction.net. Now, the first thing I want to play is, well, let's play the 9/11 call. One of the issues that has surfaced in the Oregon primary, and we had on this program Jason Conger. You might have remember that interview with him. He's a conservative. He's pro-life. He's pro-family. He's running in the senatorial primary in Oregon against Monica Wehby. Now, Monica Wehby is a pediatric surgeon, so obviously a very intelligent individual, but now we're discovering that she might be a serial harasser. This is one of the reasons, by the way, I'm against early voting. I am not a fan of early voting because this information has just come to light in the last couple of weeks, where she was reported as a harasser in 2011. And then when she and her husband went through a difficult divorce, He accused her likewise of domestic abuse, physical abuse, as well as harassment. Now here is the 9/11 call that her ex-boyfriend made just a year ago to the police about what Monica Wehby, who wants to be the next senator from the state of Oregon. This is what the 9/11 call sounded like. His name is Alexander Miller.
I had a relationship with her.
Okay.
The relationship has ended, and she's very, very upset and angry. She's been coming to my workplace. She's been phoning inappropriately to my employees, and I will be filing a restraining order tomorrow, a stalking order tomorrow. And then this evening, she came to the front door. I was asleep on the third floor of the house and rang the doorbell, banged around, which she has done several times. Door was locked, and in the past she left. In this case, she went around the back, and the back door happened to be open, and she came in, and she wandered around the house, upstairs, downstairs, never came to the third floor. I did not speak to her, and then when she went into the basement, I went down and walked out the front door, called a friend, and came to their house.
So that was a 9/11 call, and again, that was just a little over a year ago. Now, they have sort of patched up their differences, and he actually is donating to her campaign. So they're back to being friends now. But then you look at the story from 2007. According to a police report, this is on foxnews.com. According to a police report made public Monday, Wehby's ex-husband, Jim Grant, called police to accuse her of harassing him as they were going through a divorce in 2007. The December 2007 report said he called police during an altercation at the couple's Portland home. It says Grant told an officer he is, quote, tired of the ongoing harassment by his wife. Jim said over the last year, Monica has pulled his hair, slapped him, and thrown items at him. So again, this is one of the reasons I'm not in favor of early voting, because this information that she might be a serial harasser, and to me, this is something that raises questions. These are matters of public record now. You know, this isn't anybody divulging anything. It isn't a matter of public record. But you observe these incidents, you know, and one of the things you want in a senator is you want somebody that has a stable temperament. You want somebody that's pretty steady. You want somebody with a real sense of emotional and mental stability and a real sense of equilibrium. And, of course, the voters in Oregon are going to have to decide, does Monica Wehby as a candidate, does she meet that qualification? That's what I want in a United States senator. How do I assess, and every voter, I believe, is going to wind up assessing that a little bit differently. But there are 40% of the voters in Oregon. They use a mail-in system there. 40% of the voters in Oregon have already voted. Now, there may be some that voted for Monica Wehby, and then these reports surface, and they say, you know, if I had waited and I was actually going to go to the polls on Tuesday and vote, you know, I might vote for Jason Conger, because there's just enough here that raises questions in my mind about whether this woman has the temperament to be a senator from the state of Oregon. So if you have early voting, then the information that breaks late in the campaign, you can't take it into consideration in your vote. I still like everybody showing up physically on the same day, same place to vote in person. Focal Point AFR Talk.